Hi, it's Kirstine. Today I'm making another video, and today we're going to learn how to do these cute little bow ties that you can slide on a dog's collar. They are completely adjustable, so you can make them longer if you have a bigger dog. If you have a wider collar, you can make that longer. If it's smaller, you can cinch it up. We are using a sewing machine, which is why I've got mine out. If you can make a straight stitch, then you can make these collars. Just a couple things to start off with. These do have interfacing on them. They're lined with interfacing. You can get that in any fabric store. And that is sewn to the wrong side of the fabric, and it just makes it stiffer, makes the tie hold up a little better. About fabric choices. There's a very small surface you can see. So while something that has this big of a print might be cute, it's not going to show up on here. And just as an example, this little tie here has a really cute print on it, but you really can't see it on the tie. So for the rest of the ties, I went with something that's smaller, that it's repeated, that you can see in it. The stripes show up really well too. They're really cute. So what I chose today was this little multicolored paw print. To start off with, this is my pattern. And a note on the video, I'm not a big fan of editing. That's not my strength, and so I'm going to try to do this all the way through, and hopefully it'll all work. So this is my pattern. It is 14.5 inches long at this widest point. At the widest point, it is 4.5 or 4 3/4 inches wide. The narrowest point is 4 inches wide, and you will see how that works here in a minute. So the first thing, and I've got all the steps through, so that I can just go right through and show you how to do it. So first thing I do is I cut out my fabric, and I cut out my interfacing, and those I iron together, which gives you this. Once that's ironed together, then you're going to want to pin the ends. So with right sides together, that means the fabric that you want to see when you're done on the inside, you fold that in half. So you're just meeting from that corner, so that's that angle, you're folding that in half, pin it. Same thing on this end, you're just going to take that end, fold it in half. Very simple. And then using the straight stitch on your sewing machine, and I'm using a 1/4 of an inch, so 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. I do back stitch at the beginning of the end, and I'm just sewing a straight line, the end there. Got that. Go to this end, once again 1/4 of an inch seam, straight seam, and you've got that. So I trim the ends of the thread so it doesn't get in the way, and then I'm also going to trim this very tip here so it's not so bulky when you turn it. So trim that little teeny corner. And I've got an overflowing garbage I can get that in, and then you're going to want to turn this, so just inside out. Turn this, and then you want to make that as straight, making sure you can see that, and then you're going to want to iron this. So yes, there is some ironing and very simple stitching. So once that's ironed, it looks like that. This is your last sewing machine stitch. Like I said, these are very simple. So you want to fold that in half. Again, the right sides together. Let's see. And again, this is a 1/4 inch stitch. Or I'm sorry, a 1/4 inch seam. that up. Okay, trim my little ends there. And that's it for the sewing machine. Next step is to take this and to turn it inside out. I have this ginormous needle that can kind of help me turn that inside out. I'll make sure you can see it. So we've got it turned inside out. Kind of straighten it up. And then you're going to want to iron it again. And I try to iron, there's a seam in there, and I try to iron it open so it's not too bulky. So you've got that. So you'll iron that. And once you've ironed that, you've got that. Next step is you want to make this little part of the tie. This is probably the most complicated part, but you can be easy if you've got the right tools. So what I did was I took, this is 1 inch wide, and I cut it on the bias. So that means that there's a selvage here, and I cut it and on the diagonal. And what that does is it makes it really, really stretchy. And I have this little tool that helps make bias tape. And what you do is you just feed this through there. And while you're ironing that, so you're ironing as you pull it out, and once you've done that, then you have these lengths. So out of the scraps of the material I had, I made these little strips of bias tape. So otherwise, if you don't have this, you can make this a little bit wider, and then you'll want to fold it and iron it, and that's just a pain. So you can make this wider if you want as well. So I've already cut my little strip, and this is 2.5 inches long. I have my needle and thread, and so what you do is you fold this roughly about there. It doesn't really matter where you fold it because you can adjust it afterwards. And then I scrunch it up with my fingers, wrap that around it, and so I'm on the back. And I fold this little end here just so that I don't have any raw edges sticking out. I don't know if you can, how well that. So, got it like that. And I'm just going to take some really quick little stitches right here. Doesn't have to be really fancy. I try to make sure I'm not going through with my needle into the tie, because that way, if you go into the tie, which I just did, then it's not, it makes it so it won't be adjustable, so you'll be stuck with whatever length that is. So just maybe 3, 4, 5, whatever requires to. And you can see this is really, really simple. The pattern doesn't have to be, so once you've got that, put in a couple knots and you've got a little tie. The pattern doesn't really have to be complicated. All you have to think about is that you're going to fold it there, you're going to fold it there. So if you want to make this longer, you can make it longer. If you want to make it wider, you can make it wider. You can make this a bigger change so that this is a lot more narrow than this side. So, but that's just what I went with. And there you have it. There's a doggy tie for the stylish dog. Let me show you my dog, and basically how that just slips right onto the collar. I can adjust that up and make it tighter. If he had a wider collar, once you got food on your face, then if he had a wider collar, I could make it wider as well. So look how stylish your dog can be. Thanks.